Hello friends, this is Dr. Praveen Parmar from Vyapar Jagat, and today I am with CA Rajan Ahuja, who is a financial and business advisor, and Mr. Alap Thakkar, who is a HOD for the direct and indirect taxes at DR Thakkar and Company. Today we are going to discuss about the second budget of Nirmala Sitharaman and seventh budget from the government of Narendra Modi. There is a very thin line between developed and developing country.
Right.
Right. So what do you think the budget 2020 will help to the nation to improve the economic slowdown?
So first of all, I would love to congratulate our honorable Finance Minister Sitharaman ji for presenting budget for the financial year 2020. Uh, there are so many reforms which were brought to this budget. Like 100% tax exemption is given to foreign funds if those are invested into the infrastructure sector and some notified sectors by the year 2024
yes.
with the lock-in period of 3 years. Non-residents are also allowed to invest in some government bonds. Budget has also announced that the app-based bill discounting system will be introduced to help the NBFC infuse the more funds in the system. FDI is allowed in the education sector.
Exactly. Yes.
And one of the biggest thing which was announced today, like government is going to divest the stake of the LIC with the help of initial public offering. All these measures will infuse the plenty of funds in the economy, and Indian economy will again start rising and will slow and steadily will recover from the slowdown situation.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
True.
So Alap, would you like to add anything on this particular question?
So just like Rajan said, it will take some time. It is not going to happen overnight. So because we live in 132 crores of population, right? So it will take some time, but you need to have faith in the system that is developed by the this government. So we'll have to wait and watch. But yeah, as Rajan said, it will be there slowly and steadily, but it will happen for sure.
What do you feel, when we talk about the budget 2020 for the salaried and middle class people or the employees, right? So, will this particular budget will slow down the tax burden, and when we talk about the tax burden, so where we stand currently?
So, see, government has given us a new tax bracket for the 2021 financial year 2021, and they have also given an option to all of us if we want to go with the older regime or if we want to go with the newer regime.
Right.
If you are going with the older regime, you'll get all the benefit under section 80C chapter
Chapter 6A.
chapter 6A, yes.
Right.
So all the deduction of ATC, ATD, and interest on home loans and all will be there. And if you are opting for the newer regime, so there will be only 30 deductions out of 100
Okay.
in the newer regime. And once you opt for the newer regime, you will not be able to get any of the benefit under section ATC, ATD, and interest interest on the housing loan. So that is where we stand right now. And up to 5 lakhs, there's no tax. So the tax bracket goes like 5 lakhs, 7.5 lakh, 10, 12.5, 15, and above. So the tax rates are up to 5 lakh, it's 0. After that 10%, 15, 20, 25, 30 above. That is how it goes.
Okay. No. So if suppose we do compare this particular budget with the previous year's budget, so is it beneficial for the salaried employees or salaried people?
It does. It is. So in the older regime, we never had tax slab of 15% and 25%.
Yes.
Right. So now since we have 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%, we'll have a lot of people who will fall under these categories, and they will be able to take benefit of it.
Okay.
For
So
sure.
idea of the government of introducing this tax regime is to tax very heavily for the high income class,
Right.
and tax as low as possible for the lower income class of the society, and which will definitely help this government in the long run and as a economy also.
Yes, Rajan. So my next question is to you about the startups. So as you know that government is helping startups. Government is supporting startups. Where government is come up with lot of plan,
Right.
lot of schemes like
Right.
Made in India or Startup India, Stand Up India. Right. So do we have any specific benefits for the startups or the startup ecosystem
Right.
in this particular budget 2020?
So this government is it is a strategy, one can say, or it is always a part of agenda of this government to boost the startups,
Okay.
and to promote the innovation and technology of the country. So there are three specific announcement with respect to startup which was there in this budget 2020. The first is, previously it was defined 25 crore, where now it is increased to 100 crores to be considered in the startup definition.
Yes.
The second major announcement by this government is, like previously the tax exemption was available to the startups, and which can be claimed over a period of 7 years.
7 years. Okay.
Now that 7 year has been extended to 10 years.
Okay.
So they can get that exemption for 3 years out of 10 years. And the third point is, now, like in the initial stage, startup have a tendency, or it is like startup give ESOP to their employees to hire the very good talent, and in the initial period they are also in need of funds. So this ESOP was issued to the employees, and which was taxed in the hands of employees. But now the government has declared that this ESOP will be taxed at the end of 5 years. So tax burden of the ESOP is
Deferred now.
deferred now.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, and now my another question to all of you is, what are the corporate tax rates changes? I mean, what are the changes has been made in the budget 2020 for the corporate tax rates?
The biggest announcement was, see, earlier we had 30% flat on the corporate as tax. Then because of the economic slowdown, they moved it to 25%. In budget 2020, they have decided to go with 22% now. So that will again will be a huge boost for the companies. As Rajan mentioned, they have increased the definition of startups as well, right? So from 25 crores to 100 crores now. So that 8% less tax will help, will boost the startup community as a whole, right? So and there is another announcement, and that was, if you get registered after 1st October 2019 as
Okay.
startup,
Mhm.
the tax slab is 15% flat. So that this is the recent announcement that they have done. So this will again help and boost the overall economy. Another area where cooperative taxes, cooperative societies, they were taxed at 30% flat
Earlier, yes.
earlier. So now they have an option to go with 22% of tax with 10% surcharge and 4% sales now. So these are a few welcoming changes that these are not big numbers, but if you compare the kind of country that we live in, this will definitely going to be helpful for the rest of the lot.
Corporates,
Yeah.
helpful.
Another thing that has been announced by the government is about DDT, that is dividend distribution tax. So they've decided not to go for the dividend distribution tax.
Okay.
So what will happen? So what used to happen is, whenever any company used to decide that we are going to give dividend to the shareholders, government used to government used to impose tax on that.
Okay.
So before the shareholder gets that money, it was already been taxed. So earlier it was tax free in hands of shareholders. From now onwards, from the next year onwards, any dividend that is received by the shareholders will be taxed in his own hands. So DDT will not be there. So that is a small change.
There is a change in budget
yeah,
2020.
yeah,
Small change with bigger impact.
bigger impact. Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, now my question to Rajan is, Rajan, compared to Western countries, right, India is not at par in the infrastructure, right? So what is your, what is the announcement in this particular budget regarding the infrastructure of India?
There are plenty of announcement with reference to infrastructure within this budget, and it is the main agenda of this government since they came into power, that they want to develop our nation, and they want to take our nation to the new heights.
Yeah.
Right.
So infrastructure development is a key area for this government, where a cutting edge flagship program of NIP, which is National Infrastructure Pipeline, is declared in this budget by Honorable Finance Minister Sitaraman ji. A logistic policy is also going to be announced under the regime of this budget. They have allocated like 1.7 lakh crore rupees for the transport infrastructure of the country. 22,000 crore rupees will be infused for the infrastructure project within the year 2020-21. Like this budget has announced that a new 100 airports will be made by the end of 2024.
Yes.
And the fleet of the planes will be increased to 1200.
Okay.
So these are the measures which are required
In terms of-
for a nation kind of India to be compared with the Western natures, and this government is doing that, and this will boost the infrastructure development of our country.
Exactly. So adding to that as well, so after GST came into the picture, see, this is just an odd one out, but just as Rajan was talking about the infrastructure, see, the logistic sector has been quite. Logistic sector has shown quite a positive sign, and just because of the good infrastructure that we have from past 5 to 6 years now, only the logistics sector has increased their effectivity with I guess, if I'm not wrong, 20%.
24%.
24%, yeah.
To be precise.
So yeah, so that is how it is helping us. So as I mentioned earlier, slowly and steadily, but it will happen. You just have to
Right.
wait and watch, and you will have to have faith in the government.
Government.
Yeah.
I would like to add one more point
Yes, please.
with reference to infrastructure, where it is announced in this budget that along the rail network of India, both the side where the land is owned by the railway, solar panels will be installed,
Yes.
and the solar energy will be developed, which can be a very good move
Yeah.
with this budget. And a lot of amount is also allocated for the renewable energy
Yeah.
in the budget 2020.
So companies who are into renewable energy and electricity, manufacturing,
Electricity production.
Production.
the taxes are less compared to the rest of the corporate. So that is again a boost for the sector like this. So again, this is also going to help in the building of the nation. So
Right,
yes.
right.
Yes, Alap. So my the next question is related to the audit threshold limit.
Okay.
Right. So I would like to know what are the technological enhancements or advancements we have, as well as is there any specific announcement or there are other scheme announcements we have for this particular budget?
So yes, I'll answer each and every question. First one was the audit limit. The audit limit has been increased from 1 crore to 5 crore,
Okay.
and there is a catch. So if your organization or your business or whatever business that you represent, if your cash transactions are less than 5% of your total turnover, then and then only the 5 crore limit will be
Be
applicable
applicable.
to you. Otherwise, you will be still there at 1 crore. So this is again a point where government wants people to use check wala money more,
Right.
and not on the
Yes,
cash.
more of a digitization,
exactly.
which was promoted and which is continuously promoted by this government.
Yes. And your second question was the technological advancement that we have. We already had faceless assessment in the last year itself, and from next year onwards we will have faceless appeals. So this is what they are trying to do is they are trying hard to make sure that there is less of the human intervention between the taxpayer and the person who is checking the books of accounts, right?
Okay.
So whenever there is a less of the human intervention, there are less chances of the corruption to happen. So this or the other way, they are making sure that each and every points are covered. The another announcement or the announcement of the scheme is Vivad se Vishwas. So what they've done is, if your matter, if you're supposed to pay any tax and it is in some kind of complication, they really want you to pay only tax.
Okay.
That's it. So up to, till 31st March 2020, if you have if you have
pay the
pay the
tax
taxes,
portion.
so you don't have to pay any penalty or interest on it. The scheme will be there till 30th June. If you enroll for the scheme after 31st March 2020, you'll have to you'll have to pay some negligible amount
Right.
on the tax, but only tax will be there. So that is again a new thing. And any ongoing appeal or any assessment can take this benefit of this scheme. So that is it. The three questions that I answered. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Praveen, Dr. Praveen, for inviting us, and we would love to answer any queries or questions from our viewers.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So if suppose any viewers or any question which is coming from the audience, so you can post your question in the comment box of YouTube channel as well as on the comment box of Vyapar Jagat article. Thank
And-
you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we'll make sure that we come again with all the answers in the next video for sure.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.